Hello. I just wanted to do a quick chat about an experience I had uh, recently. I went to Walmart because, like everyone else, I'm going broke and I have to consume their cheap junk. But anyway, as I was backing my truck into the spot, I noticed the car across the aisle had whoever was driving it had left their headlights on. So um, there wasn't really anything I could do. The person wasn't there. So I went into the store, and I thought when I come back out, maybe I'll jot down the plate number or something and take it in, and you know, maybe they can make an announcement or something. But anyway, when I got back outside, as luck would have it, the person, it was a middle-aged woman, was there, standing by the car on her cell phone. So I guess she had realized that the car wouldn't start. So I walked over because I had jumper cables in my truck, and I was going to offer to help her. And right away, it was sort of, scary. Like, what was I going to do? So I, approached her and said I was willing to help her. And right away, her attitude changed, and she was very nice and thankful. But in the meantime, someone had come and kind of pulled in to the spot, which was directly in between my truck and her car. And as the people pulled in, before they even got their engine off, I kind of flagged her down. It was a woman and her daughter. And I asked her if she didn't mind to just pop her hood quick. It'd take me 30 seconds to grab the jumper cables, and we could get this other lady on her way. And she was very skeptical of the whole situation, and finally came up with the fact that her husband would be, or she said her quote was, her husband would kill her if she did something like that. And I kind of shook my head and said, well, I guess he sounds like a hell of a guy if he'd be upset with you for helping someone. And then she didn't really know what to say. So I said, look, at least if you're not willing to help out, could you at least back out of the spot and let me bring my truck over here, and then you can pull into that spot? Which, she thought about it for a second and then figured that would be okay. But, at the end of the story quickly is did bring my truck over, and we got the woman jumped, and suddenly, she was very thankful, and God bless you, and she wanted to offer me some money. And I said no. But it was funny how just in that short amount of time, there was how many things actually happened there. I went from, two different people being very skeptical that I might be some type of evil criminal, and I know I got the shaggy hair and all, but I'm not very tall. I'm certainly not an imposing figure. But then, I was kind of heroic then at the end, where and it occurred to me, like, when exactly the line, the threshold was crossed of it being an unnatural act and something abnormal to give somebody a hand. And I've experienced it myself. If you run out of gas or something, of course, most people have cell phones. Almost everyone has a cell phone now, so you can call AAA or call a friend or call a tow or whatever. But in all those cases, it can take 30, 40 minutes to, in case of AAA or a tow truck, it can take a couple of hours till somebody gets to you, where, or just something simple to change a tire. And most people won't stop to help. But what's even more amazing is that if you do stop to help, you're looked at like, the first instinct is that you're going to do something awful. You couldn't have pulled over to help. You must have pulled over to be, to kill them or rob them or who knows what else. I don't know. There's a lot to be, sort of going on in the psychology of that, but there's in television, you have sort of, I think, all the indoctrination of terrorism, of course, is everywhere. Everyone's a terrorist. And then the criminals, you can't even let your children outside to play, or they're going to get kidnapped and raped and murdered. And on it goes. But then, of course, there's the events from anything like 9/11, which of course is the dichotomy of the terrorism and then of all the people helping each other out. But, and then Haiti, what happened in the earthquake in Japan and the nuclear, fallout and all the rest. There's people are more willing to donate, and a lot of the agencies, and I don't want to make broad generalizations, but a lot of the charitable things can be corrupt too. But people are willing to write a check, but they're not willing to just lend somebody a hand, which is in a lot of ways is a lot less cumbersome, right in their own, in their own world and in their own neighborhood. Whereas, obviously, not only is it expensive, I mean, you can't save everyone in the world. Let's just face it. There's ideally, you'd like everything to be great, but you can't go save the children and pay even just to pay for it, or to go donate the time, and you have work and family and everything else. But something small, right, in your own world that could happen every day is like a foreign concept to, I used to have a delivery job, and I'd walk into these office buildings, my hands literally full of boxes, and like for someone to even hold the door or offer to hold the door, it was like, staggering. and it's funny, in certain places it's not so much like that, even locally. You go to one town and the people seem a lot nicer, and then the other towns a few miles down the road, maybe not so much so. And I mean, there's a lot of things that could be causes of those differences, but I don't know. It just occurred to me to think about that, how, we're all strangers to each other, even neighbors, and the skepticism that's brought on, in my opinion, really through, the news media and television programming. That it's I mean, it's sad, but the answer isn't just to say, yeah, it's sad, what are you going to do? I don't know. I mean, to me, and like I said, I'm not, it wasn't an extraordinary act to offer to get jumper cables and take 30 seconds out of my day to, rather than have the woman wait for an hour and a half for AAA to come. It wasn't extraordinary at all. But I don't know when it became the fact that it almost was extraordinary, and it was, it was surprising to me, but in a lot of ways not really, because like I said, I've been on both sides of it, and I've experienced it myself, and it's just something to think about, and that maybe for me, next time, see somebody pulled over on the side of the road, changing a tire or with their hood up, I won't think twice about stopping, or I won't drive past and go, oh man, maybe I wish I would have, I could have maybe offered that guy some help, but instead, I want to get home 10 minutes earlier so I can, watch more TV or make more videos on YouTube or whatever. I don't know, it was just food for thought for me, so I thought I'd put it out there, see if anybody, agreed.